So today we're giving a gameplay overview and review of Ars Alchimia. I said that right?
I think that's right. That's how I said it.
Okay, good. So this game is kind of cool.
Yeah, very cool Japan anime style.
So we'll see how cool it is soon. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode with To Die For Games. I'm Mandy, the board gaming pinup girl.
And I'm Tracy, the gaming maven.
So today we're looking at Ars Alchimia. I don't really know what that means.
Alchemy,
Sure.
science, magic, all that wonderful stuff.
I guess we'll see how that pans out. So before we get to that, Tracy's got some fun stuff to talk about.
Yes, so if you're wondering what we think of the game or you're not quite sure how to set it up, well, there's timestamps below for you to find. And while you're there, you can comment, let us know what you think, and subscribe while you're at it.
All right, so now that we got all that stuff out of the way, we can check out the setup and gameplay and all that good stuff of Ars Alchimia.
In Ars Alchimia, well, you're working with alchemy. So you're trying to mix potions and gather points through those, getting assistants that are going to help you along the way, and gathering resources at just the right time so that you can gather the most points to beat your opponents. So I'm going to explain the components for Ars Alchimia. So this is a beautifully colored game, all these wonderful pawns. But first what I'm going to discuss is the game board. So here we have the game board. Then we have our individual player boards. These are going to be our trackers for our various resources, a die, which is going to be useful throughout the game, our different score markers. Each player has pawns in their color to play on the board. These are the factory cards. These are going to determine player order. Then we have our transmutation forges. Yes, transmutation forges. We have our location cards, our assistant cards, and our various order cards. So I'm going to quickly explain how we set up the board. It's already ready to go here. When we play out the cards to the board, we are going to play them out to the locations matching their colors. So this shows that those ones go there, the green ones go here, as per the colors on the squares. Each player is going to receive a player board. There are 5 resources, and the resources are going to go on the filled-in spot. So you're going to start with a certain number of resources, and each player is going to start with the same amount. Also, players will get all of their pawns, but they're going to start with 9. In addition to that, each player is going to receive a random factory card. First player will receive 1 extra pawn, second player will receive 2, so on and so forth. So I will get that right away, and these players will get those. There we go, 11. So in player order, players will play one of their pawns to one of the spots next to a card to collect that card. If I wanted to play here, then I would collect this card. Now these are order cards, and you're only allowed to have 3 order cards at a time. You're also only allowed to have the green ones to start. You eventually get the other ones by completing other cards. If you're playing here, you're playing to collect resources. So the other player could play one of theirs out, and they would get the automatic resource here. Now the tricky thing about this game is when you go to play, you can always play on a spot someone's already played on, but you must play one more than the number the previous player played. Theirs will go to this wonderful city square here where the fountain is, and I had to play 2 to their 1. I can actually play more, however, because what this will give me up here, if I play more than the minimum, I can roll a die to possibly get additional resources if I meet the requirement of the die number. In that case, I didn't, so I didn't get any bonus, but I would get the 1 red resource as per the card. Over here, we can hire some assistants, and each of the assistants gives us benefits, such as changing our die rolls, giving us extra workers, so on and so forth. The transmutation is where we manage to get our wonderful potions, because some of these require a special potion that you can't actually collect from the resource cards. So this will allow you to possibly purchase or make the potions by transmuting things. So you will play a worker there, and like I said, if someone was to play there, they would have to play to take the same action 1 more than the number of players previously played, and that goes there. Basically, the round will go until everyone has either played out all of their workers or they've decided to pass. Then basically you will take off all of the workers, bring them back to your pool. You get the workers that you started with the last round, but you will add more each round as you go along. So in the second round, these would be distributed based on lowest number, would get to choose first which one they wanted, lowest on the point track. So let's say I was at 5, and my opponent was at 10, I would get, blue or yellow would get to choose first. So they would get to choose, do they want to go first and get less workers, or do they want to go second and get more workers? So then they would be added to their existing pool, and next round would continue. Basically, you'd go for 4 rounds. Once 4 rounds was done, the game would end. You would score up your points from the cards that you get, as well as points you get throughout the game. Most points wins.
So now we're ready to give our review of Ars Alchimia. What did you think?
I actually really like this game. I like that whole build of your people, your workers, and you get more and more, so you can do more and more stuff. I always like that kind of evolution of more actions as the game goes on.
Right. So for me, I like this game too. I know we played with a couple other people, and they were kind of about it, but I liked it.
They were.
That was cute.
I think one of the big things was the card size, but we'll get into that in just a minute.
So we'll just swing right into artwork and theme.
The board is busier than it needs to be.
Right.
I love how they laid it out, but all the artwork underneath kind of gets lost once you put the cards on.
Right.
And our poor photographer, Paul, he was like trying to take a picture of it. You can see in the link. But other than that, the cards were very traditional style. I could definitely see, you know, the feel and of all of it kind of coming together with all the different components.
Right. So at first glance, it's like, oh, you know, I see the box and I really like what's going on the inside of, on the outside of the box. Then we open it and I'm like, I'm a little confused by some of the colors. Like even the pawns, once you put them on the board, they like disappear. Do you know what I mean? Not all the colors, but some of them. So I just feel like, there could have been a bit more punch. You
like
know,
the purple pops out, but the rest of the colors kind of fade a bit.
So, and I'm big on my colors, so you know, it was fine, but I do wish they had just a little bit more there. So let's talk about components. What do we think of the components?
Well, the wooden pawns being, wooden obviously, that's one really good thing. They're solid, although when you put them on their side, they kind of roll.
I know.
They're rolling all over the place.
How many do we lose?
Your workers are trying to run away. It's not good. But those are great. Like I said, with the cards, the look of the cards with the art and the writing style looks very traditional of like a Japanese-made game.
Right.
And I quite like that. Now the cards themselves are quite tiny, and I get they're trying to make it a compact game.
Right.
The cards are really small, so for old eyes like mine, I'm trying to read it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, they were tiny. So, but you know, I see what you're saying though. It goes with the idea of the game. I thought overall it was good. I mean, they had a little wooden token. The little wooden. I don't know what you would call those.
Pawn. They were workers,
people.
but yeah, little pawn.
Sure. So that was nice. The board was thick. I think the card quality seemed to be of decent quality. I just wish the sizing was the font or even the card was slightly bigger, but I understand where they were going with that. So let's talk about gameplay mechanics.
So the idea in this game is you're kind of an alchemist trying to build your potions. So you have to go and get the resource. You have to go to the various locations and find the resources. You need workers to help you be more efficient at it. And then, of course, some of the potions are hard to make. So those transmutation forges, yes, transmutation forges, that's actually a part of the game. You have to make the fancier potions with all these other resources. So it's kind of cool. And then, of course, you have to complete the actual orders themselves to get the points. So I like that there are different things you have to do to be able to get to where you need to.
Right.
So that's really, really quite great.
I did like the fact that you were able to at least attempt to get other things, like the rolling of the dice, and if you were of the die, excuse me. So if you were able to do that, you're like, ooh, they get more goodies and stuff. So something I had a problem with was completing the objective cards, or I'm not exactly sure. The orders. Yeah. Because you had to do them in a certain order, right? Like you had to.
You did. You had to do basically the green ones, and going to the higher level colors, you had to complete the ones in the lower levels first of that type.
So I had this urge to constantly want to complete the higher ones. Like, oh wait, I can't do that until I do these ones. But it just seemed that I always seem to have resources for the other ones. So that, and I really like the transmutation part of the board. I use that so much. It was really helpful for me, especially when I didn't have what I needed. So I thought that was great to get those like higher, I don't know what you would call it, higher quality or the better potions or whatnot.
Fancy potions.
And I always tended to take the action where I got to take more pawns. I don't know why. I didn't really, because you have to kind of one up the next person at a spot.
Well, then there are some people, like, one of the things you can do is you can actually put more there to not only get sometimes the bonuses with the resource area, but you can actually mess people up by putting more pieces, realizing they want to go there and they have to use like 5 of their guys because you put 4 down, even though you only need to put 2.
Oh yeah,
so that can be kind of a bit of a take that, which is kind of neat if people like that kind of competitive feel.
Right. So I did that a lot. I actually just took a lot of them and just played it because I didn't want anyone else to go there. Did it help me win the game? No. But I'm sure I strategized that, maybe doing a little bit of that and then a little bit of the other one where you're taking less and putting less. It could work for you. But, I was trying to be greedy, so, I didn't win. So we'll see how that pans out for somebody else. So similar games.
So I don't think there's any games that have all those components. I could be wrong, but Lords of Waterdeep has that kind of worker placement and set collection where you're having to collect resources and spend them to get them, and you have to place your workers out to do that.
Right.
So I would say that. Splendor is maybe another one I might think about. Set collection mostly in that regard, having to collect things to spend them.
Yeah, so I think there are a lot of games out there with that mechanic where, like, especially if you place, and then in order to, what game? Energy Empire.
Oh, yes.
Does that,
yes,
where you place and you have to end up having to put more energy with your worker if somebody's already at that space. So I do see that mechanic.
That's true.
In a few games.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's funny. I just thought about that on the spot. Did I miss everything? Did I miss anything? I think I covered it all. All right. So overall, I enjoyed this game. So I mean, I do tend to like the Japanimation or that anime kind of theme. I like the gameplay. It wasn't overly difficult, but it was enjoyable, and it does have a little bit of take that without being mean, because there's some games that can be totally mean. Overall, I enjoyed the game.
I actually did enjoy the game too. I wasn't too sure because usually that kind of style of art doesn't usually appeal to me, but the mechanics itself was enough to really keep me interested and intrigued.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're looking for something a bit heavier, and I mean, this is not the game for you. It's not a heavy game, but if you're just looking to have some light fun and, get a little take that action, I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree.
Perfect. So there we go. So I'm giving it like that. Can I do that?
That's what I was going to do, 1.5. I'll do the other way. There we go. 1.5.
I think you get it. So that's it for us. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Follow us on social media.